Welcome everybody to episode 18 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. My name is Joe, and my favorite person is here with me.
Hey, that's me. That's a joy. It's Cautious Pedro.
18 of these episodes you have murked your way through, I guess.
I know.
But here we are.
Very exciting. You kept me around. We even had a guest host and you didn't replace me, so that was good news.
I didn't. My fill-in beard.
If you're filling beard. Beard.
All right, guys. So we're going to kick this show off running, because this week was kind of an interesting one. We've had a lot of news, and we're going to start it off with a "aha, I told you so" moment. I'm calling it now, and if you guys have been listening, I told you so. I told you so. We called it. We did it first. All these news stories came out week after we had talked about it. It is Xbox Game Pass coming to Nintendo Switch. We called it. I called it. It was my prediction. I'm taking full responsibility.
Man is taking full responsibility.
I am 100% on the pulse, and I'm beyond the pulse. My finger is right up on the pulse, for sure.
Ooh, yeah. That's delivering pleasure, though, of course.
Yes, of course.
Dropping the pleasure bombs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've talked about this a million times, right? I feel like we joked around it a lot, the idea that the Xbox Live or Xbox or Microsoft would even be on a Nintendo Switch, and the horrible but beautiful future. And boom, there it is. It appears before us. I don't know that we were first, can't verify it, but we definitely were the first among us to talk about it. And we checked a bunch of articles. We didn't see it out there. But there's articles dropping about how it's just the first step, which we said, right? We knew this was going to be the first step.
Yeah, the major rumor, the big rumor bomb came out late last week, and it was just like the moment I saw it hit one news article, one news site, every YouTube person put out a video on it. Every Game Explain put out one, IGN put out an article, Polygon. I mean, all of them, Kotaku, all of them talked about it. It was one of those moments where I was just like, why are there news articles now? Did no one not see this coming? And why did they not? If they're reporting it as rumors now, why weren't they rumors then? Because we all saw the writing on the wall.
They're probably going to be like, well, we have to be responsible journalists. And we're not about
come on, they publish all sorts of junk all the time. Look, let's be real here, folks. This is huge for the gamer. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. I want to really kind of not rant, but kind of just go on this this mellow wave of gaming.
It's time for Joe's rants.
Yeah. So here's what I'm seeing. When this next generation, or what we call the now generation, or what they, every time there's a next generation, it's next gen. This generation of gaming consoles came out. 2015. We had the PlayStation 4, Xbox One. We had this beautiful world that Xbox had envisioned that did not go well with the fans, where we were going to go full digital and you were going to rent these games and buy them, and you weren't buying physical copies and you couldn't resell and all this kind of stuff. And it blew up. It blew up in everyone's faces because that's not what we wanted. It
wasn't packaged right.
And in retrospect,
it turns out that's what we did want, right?
We did and we didn't. We don't want to buy our games. We just want all the games. Yep. But we don't want to pay $60 for not having a game.
No.
So that's where the repackaging came into play. With that said, whatever DRM weirdness Nintendo came out with, and plus packaging it with the Kinect, they lost huge traction that they had with the 360. Huge fan base dropped the 360 and dropped Microsoft altogether and jumped over to the PlayStation 4, which was
right. They didn't pick up the Xbox One. They jumped to the 4, right?
They jumped to the 4. It was a cheaper system, more powerful system at the time, and they didn't look back because every third-party game that comes out on all systems just came out on the PlayStation 4, and they had it for cheaper and better and faster.
And they had Last of Us. They ended the PlayStation 3 run with some fabulous games, right? I mean, it was worth jumping ship for the exclusives, for the better games. Xbox wasn't signing the games to come in.
And Sony was doing something that Microsoft hadn't done yet, which was you subscribe to Plus, their service, and we give you free games every month, or free games as long as you keep your membership, we give you games. Microsoft hadn't jumped on that. They weren't doing that yet.
I feel like Gold wasn't Gold.
Yeah, games with Gold came later. They eventually did it. They were like, people want this. People want to, instead of paying the $50 a month or $50 a year for our service, we should give them something for it. There should be a bonus, not just because.
And then we'll increase the cost of the service.
Well, they realize, right? Like I think the numbers, and you're a numbers guy. I'm sure there was a boardroom meeting where they went, "Hey, let's take a look at the amount of subscribers we have, and let's see how many of them actually play multiplayer."
Yeah.
And then they went, well, maybe like I don't know, 50%. I'm just spitballing numbers here. 50% of them actually play multiplayer every day. And the other 50, occasionally. They're people in maybe our demographic, but they like playing games. They do play games. They are online. They use it for chat purposes. They use it for like kind of what we do on Sundays with our group. We just hop on and we're all at a party and we're all talking.
Shoot the shit, yeah.
Shoot the shit. So they're
closest you can get to a LAN party nowadays, you know.
Right,
hey, what you playing? What you playing?
So then they were like, "Well, how do we do it? Well, why don't we just give them games? Let's package some games on a month-to-month basis, kind of like Sony's already." Okay, there we go. There's their bonus. Then eventually we got to the point where Microsoft is like, "We've lost our edge. We've lost a big hunk. We are losing this year's war, this generation's war on the console war," which is silly because I buy all consoles and whatever. But
you do.
But not everyone does, and so there is a console where people choose what console they're going to join that generation, and that's where their money is spent, and that's where the library goes. Microsoft went, how do we do this? They bought Minecraft early on. They bought it in 2016, I think, end of 2015, 2016
for like $2 billion.
A huge amount of money. Notch went and bought himself a freaking mansion of castle. I don't know, but weird. Anyway,
good riddance. Goodbye, Notch.
So he left, and Microsoft took over Minecraft, and they now owned the biggest, baddest cross-platform game that was already on every other system.
It's the game everyone wanted to play, and they paid $2 billion for it like a year after everyone wanted to play it, right?
Right. But then they kept it alive by doing the unthinkable. They turned on crossplay.
And they offered servers on Xbox One.
That's right.
Which is huge. Modded servers. Yeah.
Modded servers, which was a huge, again, so that reignited the Minecraft kind of craze for a little bit. They added updates, they 4K, graphic, whatever. But the big original crossover at that point was as soon as they bought it, not a year went by, that E3, they showed that you could crossplay with the Switch. And they even put out a commercial with Nintendo and Microsoft and, Hearts and stuff. They were like, gamers joined together. I mean, they literally marketed this thing as
while Sony's in the corner like,
yeah, right. And so they really made a point to say, like, they were ribbing the competition by going, hey, we play together, why don't you? And then, so Microsoft did all of that, and but they were on the pulse. They were seeing what gamers wanted. And they were started realizing that these games, especially these free-to-play games, were starting to come out where there was no alliance anymore. It was whatever system your friends had, they just go download the free game and play it. For example, Fortnite. If your mass majority of friends were on Sony PlayStation, then you just logged in on the PlayStation version of Fortnite for a few hours. But in reality, you would then hop over and play it on your Xbox because you had another group of friends that played it on everything else. PC, Xbox, Switch could all play together. Eventually, Sony gave in. The peer pressure came in. They're like, we're losing a lot of money here.
Yeah, everyone's jumping ship.
People are jumping ship. People are buying through other consoles. They're spending money to buy coin for Fortnite through the marketplace that is Microsoft as opposed to ours because we don't play nice. So they eventually turned on the crossplay. Again, back to how gaming is going. It is now a software-driven kind of.
I think also, yeah. See, I'm with you, right? I think also, like, if you're a savvy businessman, you've got all this data in front of you. You can also see that, once you put out Xbox Gold, you can see that a lot of gamers play the 2 free games and then they move back or they go back to another game. You have data on what they're playing now. It used to be you put a Nintendo game out there, someone would buy it. You don't even know if they're playing it. You got Chivo data. You've got popularity moves. You get these waves of Assassin's Creed players that then move to Red Dead Redemption. Like, you can see the cycles. So you can almost plan out, like, hey, we're going to put out 2 games that we know this kind of gamer likes. Yeah. And then we'll put out the DLC right there on Xbox Gold. Like, you can strategize on that level. And then You look at all the streamers who play, not streamers,
that's more data.
Who are just downloading for games, and so
that's more data. That's more data right there. Look,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's as a numbers person, you're salivating because you can look at Twitch, and Twitch can show you what game is being played and how many streamers are playing that.
What time they're playing it.
Right. So then, not only are you doing that, but you're seeing the numbers go up and down. And so right now, Apex Legends is boom through the roof.
Yeah.
And Fortnite has dropped by like 60% of streamers.
Well, Ninja left. They all play Apex Legends.
But a good example is Ninja came out and was talking how he hates the fact that streamers jump to the hottest thing. So he went back and started playing Fortnite. He was like, guys, like we get it, but you're no longer just a streamer. You're just jumping onto the hot craze. You're not even like good at any of the games. People just follow you to watch you. He had a good point. I get what he's saying.
I missed him saying this thing.
Yeah, but so anywho, here's an example. The next season's coming out. Season 8's coming out soon.
People will jump back. People are
going to jump back. They're going to jump back, and there's going to be a huge spike in that. Then people will either like the new content or hate it, and then either go back to Apex Legends. And there's going to be kind of this battle right now. PUBG didn't have that advantage because their game was really broken by the time Fortnite came out. Like, it was running like crud. They charged money for it when it came out. Like, when it came out on Xbox, they were charging like $40 for it.
I watched a bunch of streams of PUBG, and I enjoyed it so much more than Fortnite streams. And it's just because the PUBG graphics looked more intense. I don't know. It just felt like a much more intense game. You know, you're putting on a helmet. You're putting your. I don't know. I don't know if the streamers were not as goofy. Like Ninja was always buying, right? So a lot of times the PUBG viewers were like quiet and stealthy. But I don't know. I didn't like playing PUBG. I didn't like it, but I enjoyed watching some.
You enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. I wish I could remember the guys I watch. I probably have them on my favorites somewhere, but I should go back and check them out. Back when I was trying to watch streams all the time.
That's interesting.
It's research, right? I got to figure out why is this.
We're getting older. Why is this so interesting?
Why are you guys watching streams when you can be playing video games? And it turned out like watching a stream on my phone isn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll put it on while on the bus, or I'll put it on while I'm painting a miniature or designing a D&D. I'll just put it on the corner, and it actually worked out okay. I just didn't get into the like celebrity style of it that I got to watch them every time they're on.
Right. And there's people that are like, they know they're going to be on Thursday at 7:00.
Oh yeah, you get notifications if your favorites are on. So why wouldn't you just watch? So anyway, with all that happening, we've got the
Xbox Pass. So that's the big rumor right now is Xbox Pass is coming to the Switch, which means what? What does that mean? Does it mean Microsoft is partnering with Nintendo? Does that what are we getting? Like,
how badly would they crush PlayStation if they partner with Nintendo? Like, I'm trying to imagine.
Would the numbers change? I mean, would people run out and buy more Switch? Here's the deal. You see Nintendo other than maybe more subscribers to Xbox?
So we've had this fight. I don't know if we've had it on the show. I can't remember that far back, 18 episodes. Could they emulate a Switch on my Xbox? Right? Like, could I then play Switch games via Xbox Pass with a $5 extra charge? You know, where they're like, oh, you pay $10 now for Xbox games, you can pay $10 more for Nintendo Switch games on your.
Maybe I don't think we'd go that way. I think right now the popularity of the Nintendo Switch means that we go the other way, as in you're going to play right now. The focus is and the test is Nintendo holds the cards right now. They're selling the most consoles. They won the holiday sales right now. They've got the big franchises right now. They've got Nintendo, they've got Mario, they've got Smash, they've got Fortnite on their system. I'm sure they're going to get Apex Legends soon. You know,
they don't have it now.
But they will, and it'll be handheld. It'll be the only system.
I don't have a Switch. How do you play Apex Legends on the bus?
Well, I mean, right now
there's no Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to imagine like I could play Apex Legends on my Switch at home, or I could play it on my Xbox at home, right? Which one would I pick? So
you're assuming that people have both systems. I'm assuming like my kid. We talk about our kids a lot. My kiddo prefers the Switch, even though I've got the Xbox sitting there. For some reason or other, he wants to play the Switch more than the Xbox. Even though he could play Fortnite on the Xbox, he wants to play it on the Switch because he wants to sit in his bunk bed on his handheld. I don't know why. I don't get it.
Put that money is because his dad's a Super Nintendo fan. Like,
No, I mean
that's
maybe, but I mean he sees me playing.
It's his size. It works out. The Xbox controller's big. I mean, Nintendo's always been more comfortable for kids, so I totally get it.
Yeah. So that's it. Like even though you might have both systems, Daddy's system is the Xbox. The Switch is his, and he can play the same game that Dad can play on his Switch. Yeah.
Also, I bet the Xbox is used for entertainment, right? You watch Netflix on it. You watch your kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely used. It's my Blu-ray player. It's used for other stuff as well. So it has more use. The Nintendo has distilled its system. They are a game system. They're about.
I don't know what the data is. I wonder if there's a way to look it up. But I'm betting that most, like I don't think there's a lot of one console households. Mine
anymore.
But I think everyone has an Xbox.
But it's always been the old joke was, Wii and a 360. It was the Wii 360.
Yeah.
That means you got best of both worlds. You got all the Nintendo games that were exclusive.
And you got bowling for your grandma.
Right. Right. Bowling for your grandma and the Wii Fit.
There you go. Yeah.
But, it was the Wii and the 360 where that was pair.
Not me, but I'm a one system guy. I had the DSs. The
DSs, or a handheld, a Nintendo system like a handheld, and then your Xbox, whatever. The 3DS is on its way out. I mean, even though they are getting some new games, it's long in the tooth. But it's amazing how far Nintendo has pushed that system.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's 2019, and the Switch is going to go down in price. It's going to get a price cut, and it'll be almost at the price range that the 3DS was at one point, $200. I mean, $399.
That's the ideal price for me.
It's $299 right now, $300. It's $100 more. It'll probably go to $250 before it goes down to $200. But even at $250, with coupons and sales and whatever, maybe a package game,
at $250 with access to my Xbox Live stuff, then it becomes a great deal.
Now let's talk about the games that are coming out here, and this is we're going to segue into two bits of story here. One being that the Switch can't play all of the games at the Xbox. So the rumors are that it will do a streaming service, kind of like a couple of other people have been doing. Like PlayStation 4 does PlayStation Now, which does their streaming service. And people, as much as I'm not a big fan of the streaming service, some people that do use it, they say they like it. They're able to play PlayStation 3 games on their PlayStation 4 games through their streaming service that Sony provides. So what they're doing is they're thinking about porting some games. Some games will be native, like games that can be run or ported, like maybe Cuphead. Super Lucky Tale was one that I read.
Switch could run Fortnite, but it can't run
Red
Dead Redemption 2? That seems crazy to me.
So yes, it is crazy because what's going on here is the Fortnite game is Unreal. It's the Unreal Engine 4, and the Switch has been specifically developed to allow Switch the Unreal Engine 4. It's like it's got back end like calls through as a coder, the API and the hardware can call the engine directly. Games like Halo that were programmed 5-6 years ago can't run natively without a massive port and massive emulation. So it's not impossible, but it's more development time that they can provide at the moment. But a way for Microsoft to go, here are 15 of our best games from our catalog available right now on the Switch. You dock your Switch in, and all of a sudden, boom, you could play Halo 3 again.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to happen. That is, again...
I mean, that's an easy prediction. Yeah,
it's an easy prediction now that everyone else picked it up. Everyone else said it. Oh yeah. I heard Polygon said it. I'm like, mother.
So to people who listen, look how burnt Joe is over this, right? You got to comment. You got to let him know that he's a genius. You got to let him know that he's the oracle of the video game system, the oracle of the consoles, right? Come on, you got to give him credit for this. I get none because I just agree with him. That's all I do.
But yes, so segueing on this, Microsoft.
I think Microsoft is going to layer on some more services, man. I think I would love to play Breath of Wild on my Xbox.
I think that won't happen until maybe Nintendo's going to be like, let's see who adopts this, and then they're going to see this massive influx of people that might purchase Switch. they'll see this partnership grow, and then the next year or so, they'll be like, you can now stream your Switch games to your Xbox One or whatever.
It's so weird that they would hesitate, but Nintendo's always been a very conservative company.
Oh, yeah. I mean, giving up their IP, giving up their intellectual, giving up Mario to play on any other system, they've done that before, and it's burned them.
But I mean, they could control, because it's almost like I'd be logging in to the Nintendo-verse through my Xbox Live. Like, so it's
it's not impossible. A good example of this is the NVIDIA Shield. The NVIDIA Shield is a set-top player that has all the guts of the Switch. It is the NVIDIA chipset and all of that in a
desktop.
It's like like an Apple TV or a Roku. The NVIDIA Shield is that, but it's super powerful. It's got the NVIDIA X1 chip, which is the exact same chip that the Switch is based on. Nintendo knows that China can't get certain consoles, so what they did is only in China. I mean, it is seriously globally region locked. That if you buy an NVIDIA Shield, Nintendo put out Super Mario Galaxy, what is it, Skyward Sword, a couple of other games on this NVIDIA Shield. You could download them and play them on a console that isn't a Nintendo console in China only.
They're
emulating.
Clearly freer than us in China to play whatever Nintendo. I'm not.
But what's again, and everyone saw the writing here when you read this news story about a year ago now, is that Shield is the same hardware as the Switch.
Sure.
It ported GameCube games and Nintendo Wii games over to the Switch. I mean, over to that NVIDIA Shield, got them to run natively, which means that they can run those games through download services.
Listen, I don't buy for. I mean, I know there might be a little bit of work, a little bit elbow grease, but it seems ridiculous to me that people still pretend like hardware matters. It's a software that just needs to be there on the system for you to play games. I mean, I don't get it. When people are like NVIDIA Shield, I'm like, my Xbox One should be able to run Nintendo games. I don't know why it doesn't.
I mean, it can, but it's all about intellectual rights, right? Like, Nintendo doesn't want anything. They don't want to give up the keys to the castle. They don't want to
have like a shitty PC and I can emulate everything, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? It might not be good. It might not be the best, but you can emulate everything on there in some sort of, someone's hacked it somewhere. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for a Switch. I'm excited for Xbox Live and a Switch. One of the reasons why I'm not a multiple console owner is because I like to score achievements. I like to connect to people easily. I don't want to have to.
I'm hoping this.
I don't want to have to join another social network. Like, I've got too many social networks as it is. I can't even manage it. I don't want to have to do PlayStation Network and Nintendo Switch Network and all that stuff. So give another company my credit card. It's just crazy how many things.
PayPal. Everything's through one.
Everything's through PayPal for you, but you have it connected to your bank account, right?
Well, I mean, no. I got it through my credit card, which is connected to my.
Right.
Yeah. So that said, weird news story that didn't make a huge amount of traction, but Pedro here caught it. Google plans to announce long-rumored Yeti hardware.
Yeah, so this is like streaming service. This is another video game.
You read the story more than I did. Give us a. I
mean, I didn't read much about it. It's just a little news story about how Google is taking their Project Yeti, which is their code name for a rumored video game streaming service. So. I just found it interesting because I think, like, you look at all these major companies and they're all trying to create platforms on which you'll stay in their universe. And Google is one of those companies that I feel like pushes out a million platforms and sees which one stays, and then they come in and develop
Google? No,
Alphabet, I guess.
5 different messaging apps on Android?
Why not? Let's see which one survives. They Thunderdome their shit, right? So
that's exactly what they do. I was trying to talk to a friend of mine and ask him, I was telling him about that, and that's the exact term. They Thunderdome it.
5 apps enter, right? It's like one app leaves. I get it. That feels like an interest. That feels very perfect for the sort of meritocracy that Google pretends they are, right? So they believe that they're like the cream rises to the top.
That's a $5 word, sir.
Yeah. So this is the way they operate. So now they're taking a look at. I think. Because of Google's like weird long beta and development cycles, and I don't want
everything's in beta forever.
Yeah, I also feel like they're maybe a little bit more risk averse, so I don't know that they're going to succeed at this, but they're trying to leapfrog the current console technology by providing their own streaming service, right? So they've got the back end, they've got huge cloud servers. They're hoping 5G or 4G can 12G, whatever G's we get in the next couple of years, serves up. That's a political reference, people who are listening and paying attention.
11,
11
more than 10. The dial goes up to 11 on this
one. Why are you stopping it at 12? Just maximum G's.
Maximum
All the
G's.
Oh, so many G's coming at me. Anyway, so I think Google was attempting to sort of leapfrog it, but already you could see based on Xbox Live announcement, based on going on with Switch, I think they're one step behind. Like they won't get their streaming service successful because other people are going to be better at it and they're going to do it faster. They're going to take a bigger risk than Google will, which is weird because they got billions of dollars. It looks good. It's got some good reviews. People who've tried it like it. Just keep your eye open. Project Yeti, Google streaming service. I'd stream some games. Why not? Give it a try.
I mean, sure, but so look, let me
all day long.
Let's see who does this.
So
we've got PlayStation.
I can stream them.
PlayStation Now has been doing streaming, which aggravates the living hell out of me because just like you said, I've got a PC. I can emulate everything. Well, Sony's got a PlayStation 4 that's running x86 hardware, architecture-wise, which is just a PC nowadays.
Right.
Somehow or another, they still won't let me download PlayStation 1 games.
That's because it's Sony, dude.
Again,
I don't get it.
NVIDIA Shield service has got their NVIDIA game streaming thing so that your Shield on your TV, you can play all of the big console games. You stream them over without having a powerful PC. There's a couple of other ones out there. Does anyone remember what X Live or whatever? That was another service for a while. The one that you subscribe. It's like GameFly at one point.
Oh yeah, sure.
You bought it. They'd send you like a controller and then like a little set-top box, and you plugged it in, and then you connected to the On Live, ON Live. I remember it connected to their services, and then you could play any game at any time. It didn't matter because they were doing exactly that. They had like consoles connected to the cloud that then like mapped. So there was like a little latency.
Right, but it's
ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time. These things aren't catching up to the more and more of this country's getting good connections going. People are realizing more and more people are playing multiplayer. I also think that more and more people are becoming a little bit more cost conscious and that they don't want to spend because of the way games are released now. I don't want to buy. I mean, I know you can't resist, but a day one game seems like the stupidest thing a gamer can do now.
Nowadays, for sure. I've learned my lesson. I haven't bought a game since last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a lot. Red Dead Redemption, it's still sitting there.
What's come out in the last 3 weeks?
Well, a ton of games, right? Like a ton of games. We just talked about it. Like, did you not watch our episode last week?
So like that's good, right? Like I feel like people still buy these days. People still fucking pre-order. I don't even get it. Why pre-order?
Well, you want that sweet whatever.
The game's gonna be good.
It doesn't matter. They entice you with rocket launcher day one. All right.
You got a fucking rocket launcher, and then you can't load into the game. It crashes for the next 5 days.
Right. Then everyone has the rocket launcher, because everyone bought it.
You're clipping the rocket launcher. So I think with all that going on, a streaming service seems kind of nice. You know, like I finally broke down and bought the pass because once I started crunching the numbers, right, I was like,
I saw. I mean, I'm not going to take credit to say that I saw it like the last article.
No, everyone sees it.
it just seemed obvious to me for a little bit. When EA did it with EA Access, it was dumb because to me, EA didn't have enough titles for me to play. They had Need for Speed.
Also, EA is garbage. I'm not going to give them
right.
I'm going to buy their games from the free game bin.
Buy it from the free game bin. Yeah, no, totally. But when Xbox does it, when a developer does it, like if Sony had done the same thing, I'd probably do it too because Sony's like, you want all of our exclusive licensed games day one, for free for $10 a month, bring it on. It's just
especially since I would never buy Crackdown 3.
Yeah,
I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
it's just it would never be in my realm of games to purchase, and I had fun playing it with you. Like it's just I was like, oh, this is fun. Maybe I'll come back and play it again.
Yeah,
maybe I'll play some multiplayer. Maybe I'll and that's $10. They got $10 off of me for the month. Why not? And you know, I play State of Decay with my brother now, and he loves it, which I'm excited for because I love it. Right, so let's rock that. And
yeah,
you know,
and
it's great.
It's almost library-esque, like going to the public library. Yes,
try a bunch of games and go for
it.
You
paid $2. So you paid $2 for right now, and not, the deal's not going on anymore. But you know, a few weeks back, you know, they had for almost 2 weeks promotion.
Come back like every 3 months. They have like a $1 a month.
Right. Well, they're trying to build that subscriber base, but you know, once they hook you, they're going to hook you, and they're going to get it's a good hook because paying $2 for 2 months, that's 60 days worth of games, and that's a lot of games, over 100 titles, and yeah, a lot of them are old, but being able to load up. Like, a good example for you.
Even if you beat, like, here's what I have right now: Mutant Year Zero, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2. If I beat Mutant Year Zero, I beat Crackdown 3. Let's just say I beat those two. State of Decay 2 is a multiplayer game that I'm playing with my brother. I'll probably pay that for 2 or 3 months more. They've got me. Like, I'm already there. I'm hooked. But unless I buy that game separately.
Even if you paid the full price of $10 a month for 3 months, that's $30. You would have bought that game for $39.99 maybe on sale. That's $40, and you still had more games.
Yep. No, it's a great deal.
The math is just amazing. It's a great deal.
And it gets better every month. It
does, because they add more games. A good example, our kids.
So here's my question. Here's if we're going to do math, right? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Xbox Gold gives me 2 free games that are always on the pass, right? So when they drop on the Xbox Gold, they go on the pass, right?
No, not always. They're not always on the Game Pass. They're just games that get put up and then they get pulled off. So
you sure?
Yeah. So the Xbox game, the games for Gold are games you buy, they're yours forever.
Unless I cancel my Gold account.
I think Gold is it? Okay, so it's just like Xbox or PlayStation Plus. Is they belong to you forever as long as you keep your subscription.
As long as I
cancel your subscription, they go away. But if you renew, you get them back.
Same thing with Pass. So I'm just curious as to how they're gonna, because
it's 2 separate things.
It's 2 separate services.
One is the online. Those games belong to you as long as you keep paying. You can cancel Game Pass.
What I'm getting at is that, like, I'm essentially paying $190 or $100, like, so $10 a month. That's $120. I'm paying $190 a year for 2 free games a month and all the games on the Xbox Pass, right? So if you break it down, it isn't that bad, right? It's actually like...
No, because if you were to buy 3 AAA title games at the full price at $60, you've already went over that budget.
Yeah, and now I don't
put you at $120.
Now I don't do day one purchases unless I know my friends are going to buy. I'm not going to do it. Like I'm going to pick up Division 2 this year, and that's it. I don't think I'm going to buy any other. Yeah, for now.
We don't know E3, whatever announcement. If they say Borderlands 3 launches October, you're going to buy that day one.
Would I pre-order it though? No, I'm not going to buy it day one. No,
I will pre-order it for you. There's no way.
It's your money. No longer am I pre-ordering.
Come on,
can't do
Borderlands. Borderlands.
Can't do it. Maybe if I try it at PAX East and it looks good. No, because
does it look good? It's Borderlands.
Do you know what's the hardest thing in the world to do?
Oh, no.
Do you know what's the hardest thing in the world?
What?
To one's principles.
No, you can't. Not to that game. Not for the game. It's the one game.
My principle here
is the one game. It's the one game right now at this point that I'm waiting for.
They're good. And if it looks like they're releasing a game that's not going to be buggy as hell and a garbage day one release like every major studio has done since day one.
No. Gearbox has not done me wrong with Borderlands 1 or 2. And not only was Borderlands 2 so good day one, is I threw down for that season pass and it was the best.
I know, Joe, you're like a super fan. I am like the negative super fan. But
you still bought them and you loved them. You loved everything. Come on. The amount of content you got.
I am Bizarro Superman to your Superman. I reserve the right to amend my statement, right? If all 4 of us, if all of us get it and are there and ready day one, I will do it. But
day 0, man, they give me early access to Borderlands 3. I will be there. I don't know.
I don't need early access to games. I got so many other games. I don't understand.
They won't do it. They won't do it. Not for that game. But unless they say it's going to be like another world game, like always on Borderlands, where you're a vault hunter in an open. Oh my god! I think I just wet myself.
Can you imagine how shitty an open world Borderlands would be? How crappy that's going to be?
Look, I'm gonna just dream a little bit.
Oh wait! Oh no, the Oracle.
The Oracle. So no, it's just I'm pipe dreaming here.
Sure.
The end of Borderlands 2. Spoiler alert for anyone who please hasn't freaking beat Borderlands 2. They unlock the key or whatever the
and there's worlds everywhere.
There's worlds, tons of different vaults. So if you gave me multiple worlds as servers, so you never really have to, it's almost as big as like No Man's Sky or whatever with the amount of like servers they can do. And it's not like a packed, 3,000 people sitting in the same lobby or town or whatever. And you allow me to like jump different outposts and you're giving
just have fun shooting with people.
Yeah. Infinite loot, infinite planets, different atmospheres. I mean, they gave us low G in the
that would be fun.
Sequel. They give us different atmosphere. They're going to have different elementals. So now you got the sludge, you've got the slime, the freaking.
And they already have like 12 classes, like 12 different classes. Right away.
Right.
That's not fun. They're going to ruin it by having PvP though.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's okay because
like Battle Royale Borderlands.
Well, no. This is what they'll do, and I'm already predicting it. They're gonna have what's his name? Torg. Torque of the Macho Man. Yeah, he's gonna have his Vault Hunter Arena, and it'll be like the PV. He'll be like the guy that like gives out the missions like every week. He'll come out with a big message. And it'll say, come and join the arena and get your gun for this. They'll
probably do something ridiculous, though.
I imagine they will.
They're gonna be like battle royales for wimps.
Right. Oh, dude, totally. Because what Borderlands has the advantage of doing is being the satirical voice of gaming that is out right now. Like,
they're gonna
be follow it and then exceed it. I believe it. I want to believe that because if it doesn't happen, it's gonna break my heart if they just don't do it because. It's a game that defined everything else. Since
I just hope it still has a really good
story.
I just hope it has a really good story.
Yeah,
I've been really disappointed that they focus too much on satirizing what's trendy as opposed to delivering a really good story.
Yeah, I don't need a meme engine. I need maybe 30% meme. 50% story, and then
I don't mind both. I don't mind both, right? But like, give me a gripping story like Borderlands 2 was, an awesome DLC.
So awesome.
Anyway, we can wrap.
Okay.
About Borderlands all day long.
Yeah, I know.
So we were talking about Nintendo, and I want to give Joe a minute to say goodbye or good luck to one of the personalities out there, Reggie retiring. I'm sure by now everyone's already gone over it, but Joe's still broken up.
No, absolutely not. My Reggie shrine back there is it's got three veladoras turned on right now.
Oh Jesus!
No. By all means, the dude's a bucket of wind, and it's rare in the gaming community, and I should have touched on it earlier, but I didn't. I was waiting for you to segue to it. But
sure.
It's rare for a president of any company to leave his post in good light nowadays.
Yeah,
I feel if you really look back in the past 10 years, that's just an average amount of time that I'm saying. Anytime there has been a change of guard at any major company, it's because
they got bought.
Or financial sales went bad. They kind of
creator differences. Their company tanked. Sure,
there's always like badness, and yes, Reggie is leaving at a high point. He could have
highest point that Nintendo has been in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
they've doubled their revenue. Switch was a big winner for them. I think the way they marketed
GameCube. Well, there's a lot of love for the GameCube, and then Wii. And then Wii, because people lost interest. Wii when they went down, and then Wii U dropped them way below. They just were not where it was. And then the Switch, was like a slow train, and then boom, it skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
So
I wish they bring back the Wii U. It was such a good concept, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
They might get to the point where like you could play like 5 Switches in the same room, right?
You can do that. You can do that now. Yeah, absolutely. So, Mario Party has that. Mario Party has the capability where you can drop your Switches on the table and make a board game. Like as you attach them together, like put them in segmented them, and then the screens make the board. And
still thinking about the dream, man, of like 4 players and 1 DM on the big screen dropping monsters into the dungeon. Oh,
yeah.
That would be beautiful.
But Reggie was a personality, a huge personality. I don't.
Big fan of games. He didn't seem as fake to me as some other personalities in the gaming industry.
Right. So when he first was announced, or when Reggie first hit the screens, he wore the suit. He was very kind of straight faced. I was skeptical about his
He was joining a very conservative company. To be fair to him, Nintendo's super conservative.
Super conservative. They are definitely a company that is. They weren't as fun as they were. I think Reggie, being the personality that he is, and accepting his memedom, right? Like one of the oldest video game memes with, my body is ready from way back in the Wii Fit days was announced, just kind of ran with it. And not only did he ran with it, he ran with it. Like he accepted that, my body is ready kind of became his thing. And from there, Nintendo kind of saw that fans and humor and embracing that kind of moved on. And then even Nintendo started doing it. Like Nintendo Japan started doing it. They like many years back, like 4 years ago, before Iwata passed away, at E3 they did puppets. They had like all the puppets, and they had they were all puppetized. So you had Reggie as a puppet, and Shiki Miyamoto as a puppet, and Iwata as a puppet, and they fought, and it was just a really fun show. I'm
like embarrassed for them, but I know it was all right.
It was so good. It was so good. And they were, if you watch the directs, Nintendo, like we talked about how Nintendo really focuses and was able to weave that narrative and control the hype with their directs. The directs were all well scripted. Jokes were made, the effects were done on their faces, and Reggie embraced the fandom quite a bit, and still kept a very straight face, and really was an advocate for the fan and Nintendo. Sure. We talked about this off camera before the show started, and I don't know how much Nintendo of America has control over Nintendo as a whole.
Right.
We talked that Nintendo of America has a huge profit margin for them.
Massive revenues.
Yeah. But when it comes down to controlling the fate of Nintendo, I don't think Nintendo of America has much choice. And I say this in a maybe, I don't know. Again, I don't know. But Nintendo of Japan does whatever they want to do. The games that they've got working in the treehouse, as they call it, are secret until they're announced. And then when they're announced, Nintendo of America is privy to that information. And then they allow Nintendo of America to localize those games. But
yeah, I'm sure Nintendo of America is in the room when they see the lineup. They see 30 Nintendo games, and they're like, you know what? I think those 12 would work in America. I have to imagine they're in the room so they can start to build their marketing campaigns, set up supply chains. They have to be there before Nintendo does their directs, right?
Right. So a good example here was... Yeah, Nintendo Kotaku put out an article today. Actually, it said Nintendo President Reggie Fils-Aimé long career of being asked about Mother 3. Now, it's a silly article, but it kind of goes back to this. What I'm saying here is how much does Nintendo of America really have control? Mother 3 is a game that.
Keep talking. I'll be right back. One second.
Sure. While he steps away. For my fans and Nintendo fans here, they know the Earthbound story and Earthbound in general. We've got Earthbound is technically the second game in the Earthbound series. And so Mother 3 is the sequel to Earthbound, and we never got it here in the US. I think the fandom has been asking and clamoring and wanting Mother 3. When is it coming? When is it coming? You can buy it. There's fan translations. It's a Game Boy Advance game. You can just go on eBay and type in Mother 3 fan translation card, and you can buy a repro with the game ready to go and play it. But that's not what they want. They want Nintendo to officially release it, and they haven't. And it makes no sense. It just goes back to the way the fandom works. So while you left, I just wanted to recap you here.
Sure.
Mother 3 is the sequel to Earthbound. So okay. Earthbound is a Super Nintendo game that was It's got a funny history. It was a game
It's got a cult following kind of thing.
It's got a cult following. It was one of the last games to be released on the Super Nintendo. It literally warmed pegs. And what I meant that is it sat on the shelf because it came out after the Nintendo 64 came out.
I gotcha.
But not only was it so good that those copies now, a sealed copy of Earthbound goes for like 300, 400, 500. Because they realized it was a really good game. People bought them up, and then now you can't find it, right?
Right, of course.
So Earthbound is technically this part 2 of a 3-game series. Part 1 came out on the NES, which didn't come out in the US. Part 2 was Earthbound in the US. And then part 3 came out in Japan as a Game Boy Advance game.
Oh, all right.
Smash Brothers has one of the characters in the game, Lucas. He's one of the characters from Mother 3. So we've been playing as Lucas for how many installments of Smash now? 1, 2, 3. Three versions of Smash have had Lucas as a character. Brawl, the Wii U version, and then now Ultimate. So that's 3 versions of Lucas that we've had. But America's never got the game that he's from.
All right.
So people have been asking for Mother 3, where is it? Where is it? It's kind of a joke. It's a running joke. He's even like taunted the fans. But it makes no sense that
he's like trolled them.
Like why Nintendo hasn't just ported in a virtual console version of it with fan translation or whatever. I mean, you can buy the game. You can go on eBay right now, buy Mother 3, and it's a fan reproduction. It's a Game Boy Advance cart of the Japanese game with an English patch running on it, and it plays. You can play the game. But Nintendo has officially never announced it or released it in the US. So how much power does Nintendo of America have where Japan is like, no, we're not going to give it to you. And Nintendo of America is like, but the fans want it. They've been asking for it for the past 10 years. No. But it's a completed game. As a matter of fact, the fans have already translated it. We could just literally take that translation, double check it, and run with it because we could. No. Like
they won't even explain why, right?
No, they won't explain why. It's now kind of a running joke. And so this article kind of talks about that, how it's just kind of it makes no sense, but again, why Nintendo of America doesn't have the power to just go, we're going to freaking release it. They can't because it wasn't their game to begin with. It's Nintendo of Japan.
It's interesting because I wonder if that'll change a little bit with
the new guard.
With the new guard, and it might. I mean, I don't know why Reggie left. He claims it was happy times he wants to spend with his family, but it might have also been a leadership issue. You never know, right?
You never know. I mean, they're giving him till April, so he is the leader till April. But
I have to assume he's instrumental in this Xbox Live partnership. That's happening. So. He's probably going to leave a big imprint on Nintendo of America's poll. I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Also, 2018 was the best year for the Americas for a very long time, right? So they almost doubled their revenue. If you go back and you look at statistics.com, it's an easy check, Nintendo revenue for 2018. And you can see that the Americas is dominating, right? More than Japan, more than Europe, more than any other places. So maybe, and they haven't been. This is their best year. So I wonder if maybe they will be a little bit bigger in the room, be like, hey, we know how to sell games in the Americas. Let us do this for you, Nintendo. But also, I think Nintendo, I don't know, Nintendo is very conservative, and if they do one thing for the fans, they're going to wind up having to they might feel like they might be pressured again to do more things for the fans, which is why they almost, it's like a weird love-hate relationship where, like, Nintendo fans love Nintendo, but then they're like, why didn't you release more consoles? Why are the amiibos artificially, like there's just so many things that, like...
You're absolutely right. Like an example of this is the Smash Brothers lineup. Like they always want guest characters.
Where's this guy? Waluigi?
Waluigi. Why don't we get Waluigi? And yet it's almost like they hold the carrot back and they're like, no. But he's a character in your own lineup. No.
I won't give him Waluigi. You know why? Because there's way too much disgusting Waluigi stuff out there created by the fans. No. You don't get that. You don't treat your things nice, Nintendo fans. Seriously, only look up Waluigi, people, with safe search on, because it is a disgusting world out there.
Oh, you found my fandom.
I just started following your links, man, and I'm like, where am I? What has happened? Oh God, I'll never get this out of my head. Bleach. So
yeah, okay, you're right.
I won't do it. I won't.
So basically, what you're saying is only you're to blame, folks.
you. This is why we can't have nice things. Because of Waluigi disgusting things on the internet. That's
absolutely right.
Because of Bowserette, all the ludicrous things you do with Nintendo's properties, they don't want to give you anything for free.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I could go on and on.
I like how you can't even argue about it.
I can't. But I mean, what I can't argue, and what I will say, there's only one fandom worse: Sonic fans.
So Ty's,
you disgusting bastards.
No, dude, you do your thing. Do your thing, Sonic fans. But what I would love for you to do is explain to me how Tails works. Both two tails spinning, and then show me how it's going to work in a live action film. I just can't. I just can't. Every so often, I'm just sitting there peacefully trying to read, and I'll just think about how they're going to film someone spinning up on the tails. I can't help it.
Does it keep you up at night? Do you have that meme? Is it that meme where the woman is like, "Is he cheating on me?" She's looking at it, and you're just sitting there like in bed, like. How is tails going to work?
It can't work like a helicopter because the tails would just get tangled. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So like from that meme right into like the math meme where I'm like, does this work? It's two tails. You can't spin two. Have you ever tried to spin two things at once? They tangle up.
It's a swivel joint in the tail. It's a special like bolt joint. That's what makes it.
So okay, yeah, no. Obvious answer. It's a swivel joint in the tail. Now, you're a set designer / CGI animator that has to turn a real live person to fly up with a swivel in their tail to make it work. Think about this. You put on the green suit on that Smeagol actor, and he's got to go up there and he's got to do tails. I can't wait for this live action film to come in. I can't wait.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just think about it.
So we need who's the guy that does Smeagol?
I feel bad, but I don't remember.
And then we need Ray Park from Star Wars Episode 1, freaking Darth Maul. Ray Park, we need him in CG as well to be like Sonic.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how they do this. They might. I mean, like, I'm imagining a room full of CGI programmers being like, how we can't do this? I've done the math, Charles. I've done the math. We cannot make this work.
Make it happen. No, but we don't have the cycles. We don't have the CPU power to render that.
Wait, Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt. I forgot that he was in the movie. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Not me.
Plays the buddy cop or whatever.
Keeps me up at night.
Chris, do you think there's going to be a moment in the movie where Chris Pratt like holds on to tails and then flies?
If there's not, I will boo it.
Oh man! Do you think Tails is going to be in the movie at all, or is he going to be in the sequel? Like, is he going to? At the end of the movie, they're going to be like tease Tails. Because Tails was Sonic 2.
Tails was Sonic 2, but studios don't like to wait, right? So maybe like in the first half, they'll throw a reference in there. Right? It's going to be this movie.
Do you remember Tails' real name, right?
No, I don't. I wasn't.
Tails is his nickname.
Oh, what's his real name? Foxy Tails?
His name is Miles Prowler.
Oh God.
Miles per hour.
Right. Yes. No. I got that right away. Thank you. So I mean, I don't know. It's ludicrous enough that they're going to have Sonic on screen live action. So I hope they have Tails because I don't think I can stand to wait till the sequel to figure out how they solve that problem. Right? Like I need to see it soon. My brain's going to hurt real bad. I'm gonna troll the deep dark web to see how their theories are going for how to do it.
No, don't do it. Don't look that up.
No, if I was too weak for Waluigi, I'm not strong enough for.
You're not strong enough. You're not strong enough. Your will is just broken. I'm gonna come back next week. We're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna start the episode. I'm like,
dark eyes.
Welcome to episode 19 of Biggie Crisis. My pagers are gonna be like,
what? Huh? What?
No, you're just gonna be like. I'm like, Pedro, you got anything to say? No, I read some stuff. What did you read? Sonic stuff. Oh.
No, there's still. I go to the therapist now 3 times a week. He's got me on some good meds.
Oh man. So again, Reggie, thank you for all the fun.
Good times, Reggie. Good times.
So I guess we're gonna wrap this episode up soon.
Sounds good.
We're almost there. We've got a good 10 minutes or so before we wrap.
Yeah, so I haven't really been. Let me see. I've been playing. Like I said, I've been taking advantage of my Xbox Pass. So Mutant Year Zero, I've been playing. Weird game, but I'm loving it. State of Decay 2, my brother tried it out, and now he's got me playing it. I love it. Zombie survival game, awesome. Crackdown 3 was fun. I feel like I got to play it a little bit by myself to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
And then jump in with someone else because we played this weekend. And Rainbow Six Siege is still great. I don't know if anybody out there is playing it, but we could use a 5th man so we could play it on harder difficulty levels because playing it on normal with 4 people is really easy, but my group just is terrible at any more difficulty levels. So God bless them. They try hard, but they're awful. Just terrible. 2 minutes into every game, someone goes YOLO and we all die.
It's V, right?
Sometimes I fuse the hostage by accident and I wind up getting kicked out of the group and they have to re-invite me. Developers, please set it up so that if it's a private group formed by private people, you don't get kicked out for griefing your friends. Like, you really shouldn't be kicked out for griefing your friends.
Wait, really? Is that what happens? Like,
so they have a rule in play in Rainbow Six Siege that it's anti-grief, right? So if someone looks to the game programs, I don't know how they decide, intentionally kills the hostage, which loses the match for the players, or player kills, you get kicked from the group and sent back to the lobby. You just get kicked from the group. But like,
accidents happen.
Accidents happen. Also, like, sometimes it's fun to shoot your brother in the back in a video game, right? You shouldn't have to then rejoin the group to, sometimes, like, you should be able to set up a rule, be like, these are my friends. We're gonna be stupid together. Like, let us be stupid together.
Right.
Let us play the game the way we want to kind of play the game, which involves maybe shooting my brother in the kneecap when he's doing something delicate.
Does Siege have like body part hurts? Like,
No, it doesn't have body part hurts, but I mean, like, it doesn't do it. It does -5 damage. It doesn't bring him down, but it's funny, right? Like, it's funny to watch on your own screen when you shoot him in the kneecap. The other thing that's hilarious is throwing flashbangs at your friends, right? That's always the. Oh, you're gonna clear the room? Here's a flashbang. Oh, I dropped my flashbang, and you.
No.
So, because I mean, like, we can't possibly be the only gamers that have fun like that with our friends.
No,
right?
absolutely not. There's whole channels built on. Like, come on, they're making millions of dollars and driving Ferraris, and
right. But they're getting kicked out of Rainbow Six Siege whenever they do that to their friends, right? So, let us have a friend server to play around like that.
So again, you said you're not going to try Apex Legends, right? At least not anymore. You uninstalled it.
Yeah, I uninstalled it. I'm sorry I uninstalled it. I know it's the new hotness, but I know I don't want to invest any time in it. There are other games I want to invest in time in, so I tried it out. It looks smooth. It looks great. It made me just want to play Titanfall 2, which maybe I should reinstall and play that instead, right? Like, it's just...
That's fair.
I don't know.
Season 8 of Fortnite is coming out soon.
I saw the announcement and I just was like... meh, I gotta load in and spend all my V coins because I haven't been spending them. I have a ton. Yeah, maybe I'll buy this. Maybe I'll buy the battle pass this time around, right? So we'll see how it go. I also have llamas, which they changed, right? We talked about loot boxes. We should spend some minutes talking about that, but they did change the way their loot boxes work. Did you notice that in Fortnite?
No, I haven't logged into the Save the World to see how they work now.
They're X-ray, so you actually see what's in the llama before you buy it, so you don't have to waste V coins buying stuff you don't want, which is, again, they got rid of the randomness of loot boxes.
But okay, I guess the confusing part about it is so you can You can't skip that llama and move on to the next one, though, right?
You have to buy that llama if you want the next one. Yep.
If you want the next one. So that's how it works. So either that or wait 24 hours for that llama to go away and then reload. How do you? So that's not my point. So before you'd buy the loot box and you didn't know what you got and you opened it, woo. And then if you bought another one, you'd get more randomly generated.
Yep.
But now
you know what's in it.
Either one that's there before you buy it. If you don't like what's in there,
don't get it.
There's no way to like skip. There's not like a.
You have to buy it. You got to wait till the next day.
Or you.
I think for regular llamas, there might be a chance for it to upgrade to. So there's still a little gambling, right? So you see what items you're going to get for a basic package, but it might still upgrade.
Yeah, because that was the fun of like swinging and hitting it, and then it would turn
silver or gold. Yeah, and then there's still the chance for that, and then what was the other thing? They got rid of. So they have sort of a loot checker. So if you already have a shotgun, all the shotguns, there's a lower chance of a shotgun showing up in your llamas, so you can collect them all. So the collectors have a better chance of getting everything they want.
So have they changed the skill tree yet?
No, I mean they got rid of it. And you just spend points on skills, and there's like 4 different ways you can spend your points now, as opposed to having to do the skill tree. I don't like it. I like the skill tree a lot better. But
the skill tree, the only part that always annoyed me was they didn't let you zoom in and out.
So, it was poorly designed.
So you had to like hit left a billion times to get to the end of the tree, and then if you had like 5 splinters going on, you had to be like, "Well, is this one?"
Checked? It was terrible. No. It was terrible. I mean, the first level was the worst, right? Because you start at the very beginning, you have to go past that long line.
Right.
Oh. But it's way simpler now. Especially you get talent points every level. I was so high level already that when they refunded all my talent points, I just basically bought all the skills. The one nice thing is that I was just like, I can max out drone without having to unlock all the previous stuff. Great, I'll max out my drone. So basically, I've just maxed out my play style and I'm done. No. I haven't gone back to look at it since. Like, I don't even try. Like,
there's just some things that
I won't try the teleporter.
I know that it's specific to. I feel like there's some things that people are missing out on, like that because they don't play the Save the World stuff. Yeah. Like, I love the bears, like being able to drop the bears and
those are awesome.
Those are so awesome. Like, it's almost jokes that people that don't know, like the whole dialogue and all that. I was a bear. We don't get to see that anymore because everyone's playing the Battle Royale mode. I would wish
they're all playing Apex Legends now, if we're honest.
Right. But I just wish there was more bleed over between the two worlds that are Fortnite Battle Royale and Save the World. There are some characters that I really like on Save the World that I wish were on Battle Royale and vice versa. I wish that there were some of those.
They're doing a lot of crazy things right now. Like they're talking about changing the way characters are built. Remember, you put 3 cards in, and that's your skill set. So you'd have your main character, 2 skill sets,
and then you'd have to match them as you made your team or your group or whatever. And
so now they're talking about 5 cards for your hero. And then there's some word that they're going to allow you to start using different skins. So, like, if you want to play a constructor, but with the soldier skill set, you're supposedly going to be allowed to do that.
Yeah, like I got like 5 pennies, but my favorite one is the one with pink hair and whatnot. That's the one that I play with. But
unless she's in the Easter Bunny costume, she's the best one.
Yeah, I know. So I love the pink-haired penny. That's the character that I always play with. She's the constructor, but I have tons of other pennies that are in my inventory. It would be nice to just make them a skin. Just let me play the character.
Swap out. So that's what they're talking about now. You could just swap out.
Just merge all the pennies into one, and then
the challenge is that in a squad-based game, people could say they're playing constructor when they're not, right? So you have to be careful of how you do skins and things like that. So
I guess I want, in a perfect world, which again I know the Battle Royale thing is the new hotness. But I would really want to see a game with game modes again. Like I watched a great little animation, Circle. It's a Circle anime. I'll send it to you. But it's a guy. He does these like web animations or whatnot. And he was talking about Halo 3, and how Halo 3 was like kind of the epitome, like the epicness that is multiplayer games for shooters, because it had like 15 different modes, and then it also had a forge, so you could build your own levels, and you could build your own game modes where like you want paintball guns and giant soccer balls, you can do that. You want to play bumper cars with the warthogs, you could do that. Like, it was a
big head Halo dudes running around,
right? So you had all these like different modes that you can make, but then at the same time you had capture the flag. Fortnite has these events where they add a mode and they move it away, which is fun, but just let me, if I pay for a game, just give me a capture the flag mode all the time. Like, let me have a capture the flag mode. Give me some of these modes.
But then, Joe, you might get bored and not log in every 3 weeks to play your favorite mode. Come on, dude. That's they got to figure out how to attract your lizard brain somehow. I'm with you.
I guess you're right.
There's
so much stuff. Like, again,
we come from the generation where you bought a game and you
maybe leave the battle royale mode one-sided and make the save the world another mode where you could use these characters that you've got these stats in, and let us play some sort of multiplayer with it, as opposed to just the same old save a town, fight the storm, reload over and over again.
That's part of the challenge of it, is that even leveling up didn't really change much of the gameplay mechanics.
It didn't, but it was the same thing. It was like going to a town, find the random quest, mission item, whatever, pick it up, storm is coming, build your base.
Mm-hmm. And the story was a lot of fun, but a lot of times I wound up getting so frustrated with my teammates that I just...
Right, because they were randos most of the time, unless you were playing with a set group. And I really like the idea of building your own base and customizing it and whatnot. Just let me do modes in that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Anyway, goodbye to Fortnite. Hello to Xbox Game Pass. So we'll see what the new hotkeys.
That's right. So I don't know what I'm playing right now. What am I playing? I played some Crackdown 3. I installed Sea of Thieves just because it's a multiplayer game and it's free on Xbox. So
CFD.
Sea of
Thieves. Yes, no, I actually installed that too. We got to give it a try.
So I'm going to give it a try.
I don't know if there's a tutorial island. I should probably play through it to make sure we can.
Yeah, I'm going to hop on and play a little bit, kind of get used to it, and start your pirate. I do know that the game starts you off with like 6 different pirates, and they're all hideous, and you can choose which one out of those you like and add it to a favorite, and then reload the rest of them, so you can kind of keep reloading over and over until you get a pirate that you like.
Oh, all right.
So that's kind of how I kind of found it and found a player that I wanted to start with. But
you and Fulgur, man, spending hours trying to get the perfect avatar for yourself online. Meanwhile, I'm all like, what's the basic? Perfect.
But there is no basic. That's the thing. Like for this game, it's all about
because the loot's all cosmetics, right? It's not even better gear.
But it's also like the type of there's like burly women, there's like thin like bar wench kind of women, there's like old lady pirate, there's all these like different, but they don't change the way you play. They're just a skin, but
they just skin. I got it.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's kind of neat. I'm gonna install State of Decay 2 since
do it, dude.
I'm gonna install it. And
there's a tutorial island, so you got to get through it. And the pro tip is get to tutorial island, immediately quit the game, and start a brand new one so you could choose the characters you want, right? So if you play with the characters they give you after tutorial island, you're stuck with these status effects you didn't want and all this stuff.
Oh, okay. So you get the tutorial island, save, and
get to tutorial island, and then you're going to get to a point where he's going to say, I guess we're out of gas. And then you just exit, start a brand new game, and it's going to be like, do you want to skip the tutorial? You skip it, and now you could roll up your characters. Oh. So don't feel like you're stuck with the choices that they give you in the beginning. V showed me that. My brother showed me that today to do it this way. And so now, like, for example, he needs a mechanic character to join his world to occasionally fix his cars. So I made sure to roll up a character with mechanic skills, right? So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try it out then. And again, that's one of those things that I'm really enjoying. Again, we talked about this Game Pass thing. It allows you to play these games that I never probably would have picked up, but because you're playing it, and
let's give it a word. And it's got multiplayer.
It's got multiplayer, and it's part of the pass that's practically free at this point, in my eyes. I'm gonna install it and play it.
It's gonna get to the point, I think, where we're all gonna have the pass. Like right now, half of us have the pass now, but I think we can convince like 2 or 3 more once we start playing these games every Sunday.
One more crazy prediction: I see Xbox Live getting a tier. I see Xbox Live becoming Xbox Live and then Xbox Live Gold or whatever. And just it becomes like a separate tier of platinum or whatever. And so one is just the online, and then one is online, the $50, and then one is like $100 for live plus Game Pass for the entire year. Instead of making it 2 separate services, they'll combine them.
And that would be nice because then it's just one payment a year,
right?
Maybe with a discount, because that's kind of what I would like.
It would be like Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's like Xbox
exactly.
Prime or Xbox Live Prime or whatever. And
I'm sure they're also going to have Nintendo Switch service, man. It's just going to be another.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of already do it, right? Like that was their big sell. Is they didn't really have anything to offer for their online service, but they wanted people to start paying so they can pay for servers in some way. So they said, here's $30 a year for a family, or $10 or $15 for single, but you get it, and then you download an app. It's a Nintendo app, and it gives you NES games. And every month they add 2 or 3 new and old Nintendo games.
Man, I'd love to play Nintendo games on my Xbox. That would be amazing. All right. On that note, positive.
On that note, guys. Positive note. Again, we talked about a lot today, guys. Like, share, subscribe, leave some comments. We talked a lot about stuff that we want to hear some maybe feedback, some sort of like back and forth. It's definitely something we want to hear from. Let's episode 19 next week.
Thanks to the folks that post when they post. So we should start doing shout outs. Maybe let them know that we appreciate that.
Yeah. Shout out. Absolutely. We'll keep track of you guys. Again, if you got any questions about the show, anything we missed or want to know more of, please. Sometimes I forget to put the links because I'm throwing these episodes up and kind of filling in the descriptions and whatnot. But
Joe does a lot of the work. I literally do nothing. I just
it's all right. He's here. Your pretty face.
All right, folks.
All right,
guys. Thank you very much.
Take care. See you next week. Have a good one.
18 in the can.
18 in the can.
Yeah.